Processes of Assessment by Clayton Caden. Instruments used in assessments vary in their form and in the specific target that is being assessed. In some cases, instruments used in assessment can be specialized and measure one single area of development. It is important to note that assessments do not only occur in the form of norm reference or criterion reference tests. Assessments can range from teacher observations to the academic portfolio of a student. As you will see in this presentation, most assessment instruments are capable of producing results that apply to multiple targets. Assessing intelligence. Intelligence measures. Assessing intelligence or intellectual ability is required by IDEA. Results from tests that measure intelligence are used to assist in the diagnosis of certain disabilities. These results are typically translated as an IQ score or the Standardized Intelligence Quotient. Tests that produce IQ scores include the Wechsler Intelligence Scale for Children 4. This assesses the intellectual ability of children. The Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scale 4 assesses intellectual ability of adults. Stanford Binet 5 is designed to assist in identifying below grade level performance due to a cognitive disability. Kaufman Assessment Battery for Children 2. This aims to produce an overall general measure of cognitive ability. Assessing academic performance. This can be a standardized process and an informal process. This presentation is focused on the standardized processes. These include achievement tests that can be norm referenced and or curriculum based. Achievement tests are standardized, as mentioned before, and these occur in and out of the educational setting. The majority occur in the classroom or at the school system. 3 examples of achievement tests are the Woodcock-Johnson Test of Achievement, 4th edition. This is a comprehensive assessment for individuals aged 2 to 90. Standardized variables acknowledge race, sex, Hispanic, non-Hispanic, occupation, level of education, and community size. The Kaufman Test of Educational Achievement, 3rd edition, is also a comprehensive assessment for students, but these are for grades kindergarten to 12th grade. And variables include ethnicity, education level of the parents, and geographic region. Sex is also included. The 3rd example is the Wechsler Individual Achievement Test, 3rd edition. This measures reading, written expression, math, listening, comprehension, and oral expression. Variables considered for this test are similar to the first 2 examples. Assessing language development. This is conducted through tests that measure a student's understanding and use of language. So what is assessed? Areas of language assessed include receptive language vocabulary. An example of a test that measures this is the Peabody Picture Vocabulary Test 4. Another area of language assessed is the oral expression language. An example of a test that measures this is the Expressive Vocabulary Test 2. The 3rd area of language assessed is the written language skills. A test that measures that can produce a score that can give educators an idea of the written language skills includes the Test of Written Language, 4th edition. Physical development. Assessing physical development. This is non-academic or based on school-related competencies. These assessments occur mostly in early childhood where the results can be indicators of developmental delays. Instruments used to assess physical development include the Mullen Scales of Early Learning, AGS Edition. This assesses vision, gross and fine motor skills, as well as receptive and expressive language skills. The Brygant's Inventory of Early Development 3 Standardized. This inventory also assesses gross and fine motor skills, but it also includes a list of possible objectives for individualized education programs, IEPs, at the end of the assessment area. Social emotional function. Assessments in the social emotional domain can be initiated by a student's observed behavior. This observed behavior may include isolation, anger, sadness, or difficulty interacting with the other students, teachers, or parents. Examples of assessment instruments for measuring self-concept and relationships include projective drawing tests, apperception tests, and sentence completion tests. An assessment instrument for measuring social maturity and appropriateness of behavior include the Woodcock-Johnson Scales of Independent Behavior, Vineland Adaptive Behavior Scale, and the Behavior Evaluation Scale. Behavior assessment. Behavior assessment is not only important for identifying if a behavior is the result of a student's disability, but a properly conducted behavior assessment can greatly increase an educational team's ability to treat the behavior. For the functional behavior assessments, these assessments help make determinations on the functional reason behind a student's behavior and include 3 methods. Each method provides information for conducting the next. So the first is indirect. It interviews teachers and parents. It analyzes data and behavior rating scales and checklists. Direct observation. Direct observation includes event, interval, anecdotal, duration, and latency recording. Also includes inter-response time. The third is functional analysis. This is the manipulation of variables that causing or reinforcing the behavior to determine exactly why the behavior occurs. The direct and non-direct observation methods. Direct observation includes structured classroom observations that are often used to assess attention problems and other behavioral disorders. Checklists and rating scales. Checklists are designed for a respondent to check yes or no when prompted by statements related to the student's behavior. A third method is known as sociograms. This enables the teacher to obtain information about group dynamics and structure within the classroom. Perceptual functioning. Auditory perception assessments. These are designed to measure the ability to detect similarities and differences in speech sounds. Tests that can do this are known as the Wetman Auditorial Discrimination, 2nd edition, and the Test of Auditory Perception Skills, also known as TAPS. Visual perception assessments. Ability to detect similarities and differences in visual stimuli. This includes symbols, pictures, shapes, and complex designs. Tests that can measure this is known as the Motor-Free Visual Perception Test, also the Test of Visual Perception Skills. References for this presentation are included here. Thank you, and this has been the Processes of Assessments by Clayton Caden.